Welcome to another Pairing with Mare. It's Meredith Griffin from Major Crush, and welcome to my kitchen in New Orleans. This month's pairing is inspired by our unwind Chardonnay and my husband. My husband loves clam chowder. So this summer we were down on the water at Half Moon Bay and he was enjoying a bowl of clam chowder and telling me how wonderful it was. But he said, gosh, I wish I could eat this more if it wasn't so fattening and heavy because I just love the flavor of it. So I was like, okay, I've got to come up with a healthy way to make a clam chowder. And then we put it with a Chardonnay and it's amazing. So today I'm going to take you through how to make this healthier, lighter version of clam chowder for a cold winter day that's going to still make you feel all hearty and warm inside, but just cut a little bit of that fat and calories. Let's just jump right into the recipe. First tip though that I've learned the hard way is before you get started, go ahead and dice and cut all your vegetables and have them all prepped and ready to go. It'll make the recipe just go much smoother. First thing is we want to get those clams cooking. So once the Chardonnay begins to simmer, almost boil, you're gonna add the clams just as they are, and I'm using, nice and loud there, I'm using little neck clams. You could probably use, I think, any of the other types. This is just what this recipe calls for. So you're just gonna put them into the pan. You're gonna steam for about 7 minutes or so until they open up. And if any of them don't open up, then you're going to discard those, but we'll get to that later. So just let this sit about 7 minutes and you're gonna let that steam and absorb the wine and go on about your prepping. So while the clams are cooking, we've already done all our prep work. You're gonna go ahead and start preparing the other things. So the first thing is it uses 4 tablespoons of butter, which maybe seems like a lot, but actually in the whole pot of clam chowder isn't really much butter. I would send most clam chowders are probably going to use quite a bit more. All right, so once the butter is melted, you're going to add, this is 1 onion diced. You're going to add that in there, kind of let it mix around in the butter, and then you kind of just want to let these onions sit there for about 10 minutes and soften till they're translucent. So be patient, don't try and rush this process. You don't want to keep it too high because you don't want them to burn. You just want to let them to get nice and translucent. So I'm going to leave those sit for 10 minutes and then we'll come back. So one of the things, I have made this before and it's almost very brothy and well, it tastes good. My husband says it's not quite clam chowder. So another little trick is to take a couple ears of the corn and blend them up because that'll actually give it this creamy texture. And since the recipe is gonna add clam juice, I'm gonna use the clam juice to help put liquid to this so that it'll blend well. I'm just gonna put one of the whole, might as well. And then this is gonna help this will add a little bit of a creamy texture to it. Okay. I've enlisted a little bit of help with getting these clams out of their shells.
Because I can't wait.
Co-host here, Lou Zant, pulling out the clams.
Golly, these are really good clams, Mare. Every one of them open.
I know, isn't that surprising? And just a reminder, I think I said it earlier, but if one of them or any of them that don't open, you discard them. They're not good then. Only use the ones that are open. So you really want to use the liquid that the clams cooked in because that's what's going to give it that taste like the ocean.
Yeah.
But you want to strain a little bit of that in there is going to give it the flavor, but I try to strain it just to get any of the big particles out. Thank you. It's nice having help in the kitchen.
Now see, just doing it slow, a
at
lot of
least-
this stuff's
yeah.
stayed behind. Oh, you're right. It's gonna flavor it up.
All right, so since I had help, that went much quicker. But anyway, so now there's a couple things you could do. You could take the clams and just throw them in like this, or if you want, you can take them and dice them, so then you'll have more clam in every bite of chowder that you get. Totally personal preference. But I'm gonna chop up a few of them. I think I'm gonna chop a few and then keep a few whole. Why not? Just a little combo action there. All right, so let's check. It's been simmering. Oh, that looks so good. It's been simmering for about a half an hour. So this is when you want, if you're gonna use bell pepper, this is when you wanna add it. Just because if you put it in there too long, the bell pepper is gonna get too soft and mushy. So you're gonna add it, and now you're gonna let it still simmer for just about another 10 minutes, and then we're gonna come back and add the clams. So we're almost there. Oh, it smells so good. All right, buddy. Our clam chowder, you have to have a little bit of sourdough bread with clam chowder. You can dip that sucker in there and really get in. All right, you've got
It
that.
looks so creamy.
You've poured yourself some unwind.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what he thinks. It's hot though, I will tell you. Look at the steam coming off there. Don't burn your mouth.
God, it just feels like home. So beautiful.
It smells good.
Oh, the flavor is so delicious. And it tastes creamy.
Does it?
Yeah, it really does.
All right, that's what we were going for. Now we got to see what you think about it with the wine.
The balance of the bright fruit, the softness of this Chardonnay, the minerality, it makes it perfect.